Welcome to the People's Bench. How are you from wherever you are? This is Fred Ogweno, your host, and we are coming to you from Game Suites here in Riverside, Nairobi. It is another time that I'm privileged to have the former police spokesman, Charles Owino himself. We're going to look at the relationship between the police and the citizens. Is it a police service or it is a police force? That is why we are here. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. Welcome
Asante
to the
sana.
People's Bench.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Good.
You are looking good.
I'm tired this evening
Yes.
after a long day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And thank you for making time to come to the People's Bench. Now, we go straight to the point. We've seen events that have unfolded in Mawego, that is in Homa Bay. I don't know, would you have something to say about it?
I think when we go to Mawego, we have gone too far because we lose many things. What has happened in Mawego this evening is quite unfortunate. It is factual that the late lost his life unfairly and lost his life in police custody. And most importantly, lost his life after he had been arrested at home and bid his parents bye with the hope that he was going to face justice. Unfortunately, within 24 hours, he was dead. And a lot of things have happened since then. Government have done a lot. When the incident occurred, it was very embarrassing because the first incident, there was a report that this guy hit his head on the wall and died. But as usual, the police station, the police commanders usually get what we call situation reports every day. Like by midnight today, the police will be compiling situation reports in every part of the country. Every police station will be reporting the incidents that occurred in their areas of jurisdiction.
Yes.
If there was theft, if there was an accident, whether just fatal or injury accident, if there is murder, whatever it is, incidents reported to the police.
Yes.
We call them situation reports because they illustrate the situation of a particular jurisdiction. So in the morning, the Inspector General would be able to take cases of interest, like Ojwang's case. That following morning, the Inspector General must have checked and said, somebody, Albert Ojwang, has passed on in a police custody. And death in police custody is a very serious thing according to the service standing orders for the police. There are two major serious incidents that police really fear. One of them is death in police custody, and another one is escape from police custody. Because imagine a serious robber armed maybe with rifles is arrested and then he escapes from police custody. The officer will be disturbed because it would appear as if maybe he was bribed to have the person leave. It's a serious offense. And many people have lost their jobs out of escape. And those are the cases where if they occur, like complaints against police, escape from police custody, death in police custody, they open special inquiry files into the cause of death to establish, into the cause of that incident,
Yes.
to establish what caused it. And many a times, if the police officer is found at fault, you lose your job. So these are very serious incidents. And you remember the Inspector General stated that this guy had hit his head initially. It caused an embarrassment to him, though it wasn't his mistake because he was reading from the incident report that he was given.
Yes.
But a lot has been done, and the alleged perpetrators, about 6 people,
Yes.
have taken plea. They are in custody. But there seems to be dissatisfaction amongst people,
Yes.
a large population, that Lagat, who made a complaint against Ojwang, ought to have been arrested.
Yes.
Langat could not have made complaints against Ojwang because he did not know Ojwang. He only made a complaint about incident reports which had been there, reports which had been there on either social media against him. So I'm sure he reported to DCI, and the persons who are held responsible for investigations were DCI. Lagat equally is the one in charge of all police stations in Kenya and has a population of about 75,000. I think if he wants to kill you, he does not need to arrest you, drive you to Nairobi and kill you in police custody. That would be too simplistic. But sometimes when we appear to be defending, then it creates also anger on other people. But what we are saying are factual. So far, I'm told he has been cleared by IPOA, and there was a case against him in court, which I think has been withdrawn. But the anger, the excitement, negative excitement that made these young people, led by Mr. Tumbili, to grab the body and take it to the police station and eventually torch the police station. Our question would be, do they really know what they are doing? Tomorrow, after they have left, who protects that village?
The police.
Who takes care of that village? Now you've burned the police station. I'm sure the police officers have been taken to Homa Bay or somewhere. So what happens?
Let me ask you, you've stated very well that the report that the IG gave, the initial report that Ojwang hit his head on the wall until he died. To me, that looks a little bit simplistic, that he expected Kenyans to buy that, even somebody who has never stepped inside the grade 1 class.
I've just said, do you know we have incidences where people have committed suicide using a tie?
Yes.
In police custody, it is not simplistic. The fact that an incident report was written in that manner, he trusted the persons who did it.
Yes.
So we can't call it simplistic.
So the person who did it is the one who did a simplistic
And those are some of the facts that may convict some of the accused persons. Because what were you hiding?
Yes.
Why were you concluding that he hit his head? And then the issues of CCTVs that were interfered with.
Now, look at the cover-up. Does it worry the police service that report that there's some information that the chair of IPOA told Kenyans, told the court that for the last 20 days, by the time he was giving the report, that over 20 Kenyans had lost their lives in police stations under circumstances that would almost look the same. And there is no clear report that who were these people, what charges were they having, if at all they'd been charged, or the mistakes or the kind of accusations that they were having.
I think that is exaggerated. People die in police custody. Even if you go to prison, people die in prison custody on various circumstances. Somebody was sick, like somebody was beaten by mob, he's been brought. Maybe the injuries are internal. He can collapse and die. There are people also somebody who was sick, he can die in police custody. But there is no death in police custody that is not reported. And you know, there are families. These people don't come from nowhere, they come from families. And if somebody would die in police custody in a suspicious manner, then it would be raised. And nobody can stop the families from raising such issues. So I cannot be particular and say that 20 people had died in custody in manner that could not be explained, because I want to buy that kind of a discussion, because there is no death in police custody that is not reported. Even Ojwang's death, which they said he had hit his head, but it was reported. Isn't it?
Yes. So Kenyans are saying that maybe Ojwang's death was just the tip of the iceberg, that a lot could be happening behind the scenes. That's why Kenyans, got angry and they took to the streets.
No. That is not true. The incidences, it's not the first time a person is dying in custody. People have died in custody.
And it is not worrying the police?
People have been, I've told you, the biggest worry of a policeman is a person dying in custody and a prisoner escaping. Those are very serious incidences. It worries the police when a person dies in custody.
Yes.
But I'm saying that the political temperatures in the country are unfavorable and unbalanced. People die. You remember during Uhuru's tenure, how many bodies did we find in River Island? Isn't it? And there were a lot of accusations. Did you see these demonstrations?
They were not there.
They are not there. Are you getting me? So we must think out of the box so that we don't mix politics with reality.
Yes.
People die. And when people die in circumstances that you think a person has committed an offense,
Yes.
and you're not sure, you open what we call inquiry into cause of death, which is inquest. And if people would be honest, if you would go back, if we can take reports like for the whole of last year, you may find a number of people died in custody, and inquests were opened, and people were charged. If there is an institution that does not allow people to just commit offenses and go with it, is police. Even if you go to history of police, even in the 70s, up to recently, even before the coming of IPOA, people think, I don't know IPOA was brought by who. IPOA was brought by us. In 2004, the police had what we call strategic plan, 2004-2008. One of the things the police wanted was police service commission. They wanted an inspector general instead of commissioner of police. They wanted a civilian oversight authority. And these things never took place until when we had post-election violence towards the end of 2007. And then now we had the Waki report,
Yes.
and then the Kriegler report, where now we went back to our archives and said, this is what we wanted. We even wanted to have only one police service, no AP, no Kenya police, just one police service. And in a blessing in disguise, out of post-election violence, this request that we wanted came in, including a civilian oversight, which is IPOA. It wasn't requested by any other, but it was requested by police. If you look at the police strategic plan,
Yes.
2004-2008, why did they want a civilian oversight? Because number one, policemen themselves cannot go on strike. Policemen cannot go demonstrating. Policemen, even if you pay them low, they have no labor union. So IPOA was not only to look at the mistakes policemen have made or done, but was also to look at the welfare of the police.
Of the police. I hear
That
you.
is why Macharia Njeru, when he became the first chairman of IPOA, he wrote a report on the status of housing of police officers, where you find police officers in a 3-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom house. Somebody is living in the sitting room, somebody is living in the bedroom, somebody is living in another bedroom. And they're also not master and suit,
Yes.
meaning they are sharing the bathrooms.
Yes.
And there are different categories. Maybe somebody has a young wife,
Yes.
somebody has just his daughter, somebody has his son. And again, it is not just ladies alone. Maybe another one is a lady, another one is a man.
Yes.
See that kind of mix.
Yes.
And Macharia Njeru wrote on the welfare of the police. And there was a consideration. That is when they allowed the police officers to start living outside the police quarters, which also has its implications, maybe discussion for
Yes.
another day. So the police also felt that whenever they investigated an incident and then they exonerated somebody, like now the Lagat incident,
Yes.
if the police are the ones who cleared him, people would say the police are biased.
Yes.
They are clearing their own. So we wanted a civilian oversight that would balance. And what I would want everybody to understand is that people need to understand the origin of police. Why do we have police? Can we do without police? And where do these policemen come from? There's just a family where people are born policemen in a certain corner of the country.
Of course not.
Are you getting me? Why do we have police? We need to go back to history and look at early days when we had what we call state of nature. People lived the way wild animals live in the park. Ukipata mwenzako unaua, unakula. Tukikosana tunapigana, unanipiga na kupiga, nikikushinda sawa. Then it was said that sometimes in the origin of state, in around 1646, there was a treaty called the Treaty of Westphalia.
Yes.
Where now they came up with, there were a lot of wars, church wars and so on and so forth. Church and also the bureaucrats, the royalties and so on, people fighting. And then end of the European wars in the 17th century, that is 16-something, up to 1646. So they came with the Treaty of Westphalia, where now we came with the state,
Yes.
the executive, the judiciary, and legislative. Everybody, there's a balance, where now, ukinikosea,
Yes.
I take you to court, you are arrested, you
Yes.
report, you are arrested, you are taken to court. and you are jailed.
Yes.
Man surrendered his authority and power to the state.
To the state.
Even as we sit here in this nation, we have surrendered our authority and power to the state with limitations. That the state can also not just do whatever they want.
Yes.
The state must act within the law.
Yes.
And the tool the state is using for law and order and peace is police.
I hear you. I hear you. Now,
Are you getting me?
yes.
So, in short, what we should
Yes.
agree is that we cannot do without police.
That is true.
Are you getting me? That's why we have military. Military don't socialize with us. That is why you can say they are good people. They are good because they don't socialize with you. There's nowhere you meet them.
I hear you.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
So the police is a necessary evil in case it is an evil, because you must have the police. Is the one in charge of law and order
Yes.
and in charge of your security. So the question would be, how do we make our police noble? Because currently, police is not a job where somebody sits somewhere. In fact, it's very young children say, I would want to be a policeman because they see the police have power. But any older child
Yes.
looks at the police as a job that is not worth because of maybe the terms and conditions of service and even
Yes.
how they are paid and so on.
You've just mentioned that, and we have seen quite a lot of corruption during the recruitment of police. You know, right now the conversation in the village, if you ask people, those who want to join, they will hear along the corridor, somebody tells you, unless you have 700,000 or 500,000. Don't you think that is where the genesis of the problem is? We are getting people who are not meant to serve as police officers joining the forces.
I don't think corruption in recruitment is just in police. Corruption is recruitment is all over, even teachers.
But it is in police.
No, even teachers.
Yes.
People are paying money.
Yeah. We
To
saw
get-
members of parliament working with
Yes,
some.
people paying money. Some people have advantage over others.
Yes.
So because of shortage, people don't have jobs. It's possible. And also you will find it is not those people asking them for money. I can give you an example. As a senior police officer, people would come to me and tell me, can I give you something to recruit my person? And when you refuse, they think you are not sharp, you are not intelligent. I've recruited many people. I never took money from them. Are you getting me?
I get you,
Also,
yeah.
by the virtue of my position, I would be privileged once in
Yes.
a while to have an opportunity to employ. But you employed a qualified person. I'm very proud.
Yes.
I always tell people the last person I employed in 202 was an A student from Alliance High School. Had done electric and electronic engineering. Yes. A student, Alliance, University of Nairobi, electric and electronic engineering. That's the
Joining
last
the
person
police.
I employed. He is a forensic expert dealing with issues of computers, electronics, issues of computers, phones.
Yes.
He's a forensic expert. Growing up in service,
Yes.
but not saying that everybody comes and tells you, oh, Charles, you know, that my brother-in-law, that my brother, you know, he didn't do well. What did he get? D or D minus.
He's tall and he's having 32 teeth.
Are you
Number of
getting
teeth
me?
is 32.
That is not even something to talk about. There are many reasons for eliminating people. It not only happens in the police, it also happens in the jeshi.
Yes.
They can't employ you with a flat foot. There's a reason for that. So, what is there is that how do we make police service a service of choice? The way somebody would say, I'm a medical doctor and he's very proud. I'm a pilot, he's very proud. I'm an
Yes.
engineer, he's very proud. Police is a noble job, but is it noble? How do we make it noble? All of you, you want to bring the worst children to the police service. So if you want to bring the worst, how do you want to get the best out of the worst that you brought? In fact, the police service has tried because majorly most Kenyans want to bring the worst children. The most difficult in the family, the one who has performed the poorest. people think that is where to
Yes.
to take police officers.
Back to IPOA. You mentioned IPOA. Has IPOA lived to its mandate?
I can't say no, I can't say yes.
Yes.
As a policeman, I'm biased. Why am I biased? That IPOA is over-concentrating in punishing police compared to looking at welfare of the police. Yes.
But do they even punish the police?
Yes, they do.
Just a handful.
What when they have cases where policemen have made mistakes, they are excited to show they are doing some work. But I've rarely seen them come up strongly and talk about the poor pay, the working conditions, the issues of insurance and so on. I've not seen them do that. But there's a lot of excitement. But it was the first time, even when IPOA was not there, policemen were still punishing officers who had made mistakes and even sacking them. Yes.
Now, you were here in 2007 and 2008 when we witnessed the worst part of history, actually. We refer to it as the post-election violence. And part of the reasons that Kenyans took to the streets and we saw what happened here because of lack of faith in the institutions that we are having. Now we are seeing when Albert Ojwang was killed or murdered in a police station, Kenyans could not wait or could not go to the courts or wait for the investigations to get justice. Isn't this a worrying situation even as we are heading to another elections?
I've told you that we are both from Kenya and you know. Our biggest problem is politics.
Yes.
Because the president is getting a lot of beatings. People are saying economy is bad, this is bad. But if I compare, honestly, without being biased, the government, where the last government left us, as at mid-2022, and where we are today, the president has tried.
But Kenyans don't think so.
Not Kenyans, individuals. The war against the president is not about Kenyans. It's about wealthy people who require tenders in government. It's not about Kenyans. Kenyans are being drawn into a war which they don't understand. I give you an example. As at mid-2022, when we were going to elections, the government was struggling to subsidize price for unga because it was going high. Even what was subsidized, the government that left never paid the subsidy. And some factories closed because they gave unga at a subsidized price. They never got their money. Some of them were only paid after this government came into place. But we can also not blame the previous government. Maybe they didn't have enough money. You know the issue of, as at the time that government left, our foreign reserves were almost zero, totally depleted. As we speak today, our foreign reserves are very high. And we can go even for almost a year without extra foreign exchange, and the country will still run because we have higher foreign reserves. These are the indicators of an economy. Issues of inflation. If you look at the inflation index, it has moved from 8-9% to about 4%. Somebody will say, no, we can't feel it because we can't feel the money in our pocket. But you must not always feel the money in your pocket, especially if the money is still in hands of very few people, especially when contractors are still not properly paid. We have pending bills, huge pending bills, that the current government inherited from the previous government. But how do you pay pending bills on a previous budget and that budget is not carried forward? Isn't it? Because there are huge pending bills.
Yes, I hear you.
Tampering, interfering with circulation of money in the market. So currently, our unga is cheap, which was very high.
Yes.
Our foreign reserves have gone up. Our inflation rate has come down. Our dollar has stabilized. Because when the previous government left, they were stabilizing the dollar using about 4 billion every month. When this new president came, he removed the 4 billion. And the dollar skyrocketed to 169. So he had to come up with other formulas, like G2G, to reduce the demand for dollar and so on. Until now, our dollar has stabilized at the same level without spending the money which we were spending before. if you look at and we are lucky even weather has been favorably good for us. It's not just the subsidized fertilizers and so on. The weather has also been good. Our production is good.
Yes.
The tea production is higher. The price of tea has gone higher. The price of coffee, amazingly, has moved from almost 50 shillings a kilo to about 175. And everybody is now encouraged to plant coffee. Even in Siaya, we are planting coffee now. So you find a lot has been done. And this president was elected on a manifesto with 5 pillars. Pillar number 1 was agriculture. You can see the achievements in agriculture. There was issue of affordable housing, which has brought controversy because of the money that we are deducting from civil servants. But you see, it's a source of local revenue. The only thing maybe we need to review is when these houses are sold, do we return this money to these civil servants? Or do we put them in their pension so that at the end of the time when they are going home, they can able to draw back this money?
But Kenyans say that they did not want the affordable housing. That is
that
part
is
of
not,
the
that
reason
is,
they
that
took
is,
to the
that is-
streets.
that is not true. I still call it political. The issue of affordable housing started with Kibaki. It wasn't done. It came to Uhuru's time. It wasn't done. Similar to universal healthcare. The universal healthcare that started during Kibaki's time. But it could not be implemented because it was so difficult. But the president has decided to bite the bullet. When Shah was starting, everybody was against Shah. Today, many people are enjoying by the way, people don't understand the difference between Shah and Shif. Shah is the Social Health Health Act or the Social Health Authority. And Shif is the Social Health Insurance Fund, which replaces the National it's called National what? Was it Hospital or Health Insurance
Yes,
Fund?
the NHIF.
National Health Insurance Fund. And even the National Health Insurance Funds to Social Health Insurance Fund, SHIF. The NHIF, if you paid today, then you had to wait for 3 months to be treated. SHIF, you pay today and you get your treatment today. Are you getting me? SHIF, you pay 300. So NHIF, you are paying 500 minimum. SHIF now, through means testing system, they are going to allow even payment up to 100 shillings for those who are totally unable, but at least let them contribute something, because insurance fund is about collections, about pulling money together. But it has come up with also different other funds. Like now, we are going to have the primary health fund, which when it started could not be put in effect because that money comes directly from the national budget, which was not there last year. It has now been put, about 58 billion. And the 58 billion which has been put for primary healthcare will ensure that healthcare at health center and dispensaries are for free. Then we have the emergency critical and chronic illness fund, where if your SHIF is exhausted and you have chronic illnesses like cancer, then you go back to that fund. If we have emergencies, you have a problem rural in the village, there's an ambulance in every health center which can pick you. So the emergencies are also for free. Or if you have an accident on the road and you are picked by the ambulance, it is free. You're not charged for that. Then we have I've talked about primary health care, chronic, and then there is also the building fund, the infrastructure fund, where there will be money coming, like that money of CDF which has helped us to build primary school. There will be money coming to build hospitals, to improve on the infrastructure of the hospitals. So that is just health alone. Housing was done with an objective of value chain, where they expect some people will be doing windows, some people will be plumbers, will be doing some work, electricians will be doing some work. That is the objective. If you come to digital superhighway, in this era of internet, networking, and also with SHIF, to avoid fraud, they need people's thumbprints to be used. So government has now put in money. They're supposed to do 100,000 kilometers, but they're also now putting money for satellites in very remote areas like Turkana, like Samburu. They're putting in satellites so that you can be able to capture internet through satellites. So those kind of actions, and we are talking about the pillar, what the president wrote in his manifesto. He's only 2.5 years. So what I can say is, Yes, he's human,
Yes.
but I think it is important that we give him opportunity to govern
Yes.
for 5 years.
Yes.
At the end of his 5 years, let him tell us what he has done.
I hear you.
If he fails to convince us
Yes.
that he did some reasonable work, then we vote him out of office. If he convinces us, then we have him back to office. But what is most important is we cannot use unorthodox means, unconstitutional means, trying to disorganize an individual in order to, because today, even if we ban this town, right, you remember what happened. Demonstrations are supposed to, everybody is authorized. Assemble, demonstrate, picket, give petitions, but it must be peaceful.
But they say that they are
And you
usually
must not-
peaceful until police interrupts them.
Let me ask you a
Begins
question.
to throw tear gas.
No, it is
at
a
them.
fallacy unless you come from moon. Last week there was demonstration. There was supposed to be a procession, and Maraga and the people who gave notification were the 5 families who lost their people last year. And the time they were coming down after press conference, they came for TV interview. Then they came down at exactly 10. They were out of the studio, and they prayed, and Maraga addressed them. Before Maraga started moving, some boys started burning tires to create confusion. Police to throw out tear gas and then say they have been provoked. Let's assume police are mad, and the government is bad, isn't it? And they are stopping you from demonstrating. Why don't you just stop so that everybody will see we were stopped by the police?
But the police
Why?
are-
No, just a minute. There is demonstration.
Yes.
Why would you be in River Road? If you have notified the police and you have said, we will be moving from, let's say, Nation Center to Kenyatta Avenue to Parliament Road. Why would you be in Riverside? Because you see some of the things they are blaming the police for, like blocking people from going to State House, blocking people from going to Parliament. It's because of what was in social media, the mobilization which was in social media. And they are saying they are going to attack State House. We are going to attack Parliament. If you say that, and you know very well, State House is a protected area. Which policeman will allow you to walk to State House to remove the president? That president, as a human being, leave about presidency, he will leave, has a right to live, has a right to be protected. How many people would die?
Many.
Many.
We
So
saw-
it must be protected. So what we are saying is, like on Monday, they are saying there's Sabasaba, isn't it?
Yes.
So they must notify the police. Even if they want to do demonstration in the whole country, then they have to notify police officers of those police stations. But I want to tell you something, my brother. There's this sentiment of saying that the police have hit people who are unarmed. What do you mean by being armed? Do you
They
think-
just have water and handkerchiefs, and some of them are just having flags and their phones.
Can I tell you something? Today, if you walk out here and an individual comes to steal your phone, that is just theft. If he uses force, that is robbery. If he's armed, that is robbery with violence.
Violence.
But are you aware that if he comes, he uses force, he has no stone, he has nothing, and there are 2 people, it's still robbery with violence. They are not armed, but they have used force, and there are 2 people. To be armed, ordinarily in quotes, is not just having a gun or a rungu. If we approach this young man, he's one person, with only our hands, and we attack him, we are worse than a person who is armed. I arm you, you arm me.
Yes.
So when you have 1,000 people coming to your shop today, not even 1,000, 10 people coming to your shop today, with their hands open, and they are coming to break your shop and steal from you, they are peaceful.
They are not peaceful, but again, the organizers of these demonstrations are also saying that government is also playing politics, that government hired goons. We were able to see, Mr. Owino, police walking side by side with the goons carrying rules, and to date, nobody has been
I want
arrested.
to explain to you one thing. We like exaggerating issues. There is one incident out of over 100 incidents we have had in Nairobi. Now you want leverage on one incident where there are people seen with rungus.
But it should not happen.
Ngoja. Don't feel sweet on an incident.
I get you.
The information I have is that owners of businesses felt that the police were not protecting them. And the policemen also felt that they cannot attack, they cannot use, they are helpless. You have a firearm which you cannot use against a robber breaking a supermarket and running away with things. You have made policemen hopeless. If you are here campaigning that a policeman cannot use his firearm, something which is in law, clearly circumstances when a police officer may use his firearm against you, protecting his life, protecting another person's life, preventing a person who has committed a felony from custody, preventing a person, rescuing another person from custody who has committed a felony. Policemen are only 120,000 in this country. And if I talk here, you'll say, oh, you know, it's like burying your head in the sand. When those guns were bought to kill birds, why don't you stop procuring guns? Go to parliament and say, in Kenya, we don't need guns. Let's have policemen have rungus. Then we see if you will survive in your home.
As Kenyans are saying, there's too much problem in Baringo.
I am saying,
Baringo, not
leave about Baringo. Kwani Baringo is not Kenya. Why do we need to use guns in Baringo?
They say there are bandits there who are terrorizing people there.
But they have been managed. Let me ask you today.
Yes.
Can you take care of this town without a gun? Can your policeman today, be honest on camera, tell me that today, Kenyans, we can say we can protect this city without policemen being armed. So that tomorrow, we just release the arms to the armory. And then you have policemen with rungus. You tell me if there's a difference between that policeman and yourself. Be honest and tell me. Tell Kenyans now.
Of course not.
So why don't you want policemen to use firearms to protect you? Why do you want to see us burning the city? What is wrong with the demonstration? And let me tell you, if today you want to demonstrate along Uhuru Highway, and the law is very clear, the Constitution is very clear, that rights come with morals, limits, and responsibilities. And there's a general act in law, in the Constitution, under Article 24D, that as you enjoy your rights and fundamental freedoms, you don't prejudice the rights and freedoms of others. Where's you kuja out? You can't come and pee here, that you have a right to pee. Can you? You can pee here?
No.
Because you have a right to pee. There are limits. That highway where we are carrying goods, it's an international highway. There are people from Uganda, there are people from Burundi, there are people from Ethiopia, there are people from Sudan using our highway. You cannot wake up in the morning, close that highway, or go and burn a lorry, like the one I saw in Kibera, Southern Bypass. A lorry for a Ugandan carrying goods. You cannot. That is a banana republic. Tell young men and women and people of this country that they are authorized by law to demonstrate, to picket, to assemble as per Article 37, peaceably and unarmed.
I hear you, Charles.
Are you getting me?
I'm getting you.
And tell them loudly and clearly that you cannot attack a police station. A police station has an armory carrying guns. If you attack a police station and you lose your life, you have yourself to blame. If somebody attacks you today on the road here and there's a policeman to protect you and that person has a gun, he will be shot. You know, if you don't tell, you know, that I lie to Kenyans so that I'm elected a member of parliament, even that food cannot be now, you cannot even enjoy your food. The peace we have gotten in this country and the freedom we have, we must continue enjoying this freedom, these liberties, with lots of discipline and limitations, So don't lie to people.
Don't you think it is time that we consider how we reconsider how we are doing things? That we police, you have used tear gas. It has failed. It has not worked. You have used bullets. You've used guns. You have used. We've seen cases of police brutality.
Let me ask you a question.
It has not worked.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask me.
Were you in Kenya when issue of terrorism was high?
I was here.
Were you in Kenya when Mombasa was burning during Abu Drogo's period? What stopped them? We prayed. We knelt down and prayed.
Killed them.
And we ate pizza. They were killed. In Dusit here, they attacked us. They killed our people. We fought them for 2 days running. The following day in the morning, I lost a young police officer, 23-year-old from Taveta. As they were online getting into the seat, one was shot. Those criminals were shot. We don't protect this country with only prayers and eating pizza. Listen to me.
I hear you.
If you go to the border of this country, do you know how many policemen we lose in a year? Do you know how many policemen we lose in 1 year? 400, 500, 600 in Lamu, along Garissa border, because we cannot put military at the borders. Why? Because we'll be declaring war with the next country. The only man, the border patrol unit, who takes care of families living along the border are the policemen. So people eating mandazi here, you know, you cannot tell us that you will have a country where people are unruly. Nobody stops you from demonstrating. Notify the police, say the time you want to assemble, say the route you want to follow. The thing that happened in Mombasa is how demonstrations are to be done. On 25th, we had a convening officer in Mombasa. I hope the president is going to give him an award for being patriotic. He led a large team. They prayed, then they walked along Mombasa streets. By one, he declared and said, the demonstration is over, we disperse, we go home, and that was it. But Nairobi,
I saw you having
boys
a
were
conversation
coming
with
from
some young men down there.
Yes.
You carried along so nicely.
yes, but you see, after that, what did they do? If policemen are rogue and are bad, why are you burning your own roads? Why are you robbing your shops? You saw young girls, single mothers, crying because their small shops where they sell shoes and clothes and they have saloons have been robbed.
You have said that there is a lot of politics in it. Kenyans are also saying that part of the things that they were able to see on the streets, that it could be possible that even the 2 cars that were burned near Uhuru Uchumi House, that the government could have been behind it. Up until now, we've not seen anybody who has come to claim the ownership of the cars.
You are not right. I can call the officer whose car was burnt. There is a young officer who took a loan, and his car was burnt. One of those cars belonged to a police officer. It was even in the papers. The Toyota Corolla belonged to a police officer. You see, let us not play cheap politics. This is our country, and we must protect it. We have a vibrant constitution. If you are unhappy with the sitting government, you are unhappy with the president, there's nothing wrong to tell the president we are not happy with A, B, C, D.
The people
But
who are
listen,
behind the Gen Zs.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with telling the president we are not happy with your government on A, B, C, D. Are you getting me? But ask people, take your vote. Go and vote. And I can tell you, there's nothing like stealing votes. Kura is counted and it is final at the polling station. Are you getting me? By polling station has a maximum of per polling station has a maximum, I think, of 600 or 300 votes. Very small number. There, if you go to a polling center, you will find several polling stations. Maximum is, I think, 300 per polling station.
It's above 600.
Yes. So if, it's about 600. 700, yeah. So if you have a polling center with 7,000 people, then you'll have like 10 polling stations, 10 booths. And you count there. And that is why it is important that you must have your agents to protect your vote. I can tell you, if vote was to be stolen, it's government that has machinery that can steal votes. Azimio would have not lost elections with President Kenyatta supporting Raila Odinga. We never believed Raila would lose last elections. And if it was stolen, you would ask yourself, how did government with all instruments allow an individual to steal a vote? So let people take their votes, go and vote the right person.
And that's why they're afraid that President Ruto will steal the elections, because now he's in government.
He cannot. If, for example, today, in Central Province, they elect all DCP, how many seats are those? They manage to pick Ukambani, they pick Kisi, they pick a bit of Luo Nyanza, they take. You cannot steal. It is uzembe and fear of nothing. I remember when I was running for elections, my competitors feared. They said, oh, we know he's a policeman. We cannot steal from him. At the local level, we know he will protect his vote. And this was coming from the history of how we protected the votes of David Ochieng in 2019 and made history to win election with non-ODM ticket. And again repeated. Are you getting me? And I've just seen the young man has declared he wants to become governor. He may again win. Are you getting me? So it's about ideology. It's about what you say, it's about what you do.
Tell me about this glorification of Gachagua. People in government are blaming him to be behind the genesis. Members of parliament, we saw during the debate, how big is this Gachagua? And are the police planning to arrest him?
I don't want to discuss about Gachagua. Gachagua is a former deputy president. And he is just trying his level best as a human being. And therefore, anybody who, if Gachagua has done anything wrong, then he's not above the law. He will just be investigated. If he's to be arrested, he will be arrested based on law. But you see, I don't want to glorify an individual by making an individual look so powerful, and I know he's not powerful. He cannot be more powerful than the law.
But he's causing the police sleepless nights.
No.
Even the president. Every day people are speaking about him.
Then it is you saying it is Gachagua, not me. If you are saying Gachagua is causing people sleepless nights, then it is you telling us that it is Gachagua. Me, I don't know about Gachagua. Because if it is Gachagua, then action should be taken about Gachagua. I want to show you something.
Yes.
The social media in this country is run by 15 handles. There are 15 people who manage. They have serious followers. Are you getting me? I can tell you some of them.
Yes.
Go and check. Go and check at Hani Farasi. No, Hani Fasafi. Go and check at Boniface Mwangi. Go and check at Sinya Kundi. Go and check at Kamuzi. Go and check at Amirex. Go and check at F. Gaido, at Oduk, at Soko Analyst, at Wangeshi, at W. Mtunga, at Edwin Sufina, at Asamo, at Benjandolo, at Propasa, and at Menhed Thakar. These are the 15 handlers that manage, and none of them is a Gen Z. Those are the people who spread, who mobilize. And remember, we have a large population of young people who are not employed. And it is easy to sweet talk them and tell them they are not employed because of the current president or the current government. So you ask yourself, if you've been at home, the president has only been in office and this government for only 2.5 years. And you have been at home for 10 years. You must ask yourself, is it true that it is this president? Me, I can tell you, the political temperatures that we have are a group of people who have been used to doing huge tenders with government. People doing SGR, people doing big, the major roads, the major bridges. People who have been used to flowing money. You know, when governments change, many things change. Even if you go to America, when the Democrats leave office, you find things like green energy, things like environment are no longer a major factor. The major factor maybe now is in purchasing of sophisticated weapons, because that is what Democrats go for. Are you getting me? When Trump lost, the people who are doing business with him also lost. When Democrats lose, the people who are doing business with them also lose. It's a fact. But where people do biggest business is government. So the small people should rethink and ask themselves, why is this noise this way?
Is it worrying you that the people you've mentioned there, as they continue to mobilize these young people and bring them on the street and they are dying, is it worrying you that we are losing more Kenyans? We are talking about Sabasaba.
Those people. Now, what is the meaning of Sabasaba to these young men? This Sabasaba was there when we had Matiba and Akina Rubia and Akina Jaramogi and Akina Mwite fighting for multi-party democracy, which we now have. So what is the relevance of Sabasaba today?
Now
people are looking for platforms to cause chaos.
Will you arrest them?
Who?
Police.
Arrest who?
Those people who are looking for opportunity to cause chaos.
No, if you want to demonstrate, you are at liberty. But if you want to come and steal and attack police station, I'm sorry, you won't do it. You know, some of us, and let me talk badly. You know, you can't threaten me with Hague. That you want to sell, the Kiswahili people say, unauza uoga kwa polisi na kwa waziri.
Tupelekwa ICC.
Tutapelekwa ICC. Ndio upate nafasi ya kuchoma nchi yetu. Tutaenda ICC, lakini wewe hutaona sisi tukienda ICC.
You will kill us?
I've just told you, hapana uzia watu polisi uoga, ati utaenda ICC ama waziri. There is no opportunity to ban this country. We only have one way. Elect good leaders, let them debate in parliament. We have seen Kenyans have, if you look at the quality of parliament we had in 1963, the quality of parliament we had in 1969, the quality of parliament we had in 1974, 1978, with what we have today. Even lawyers are not the same, even engineers are not the same. There are many people who attend classes and they come out with nothing, but they still carve that crown of saying, I'm a lawyer, I'm an engineer, I'm a policeman, I'm a political scientist, I'm a professor. Quality. It's different. So Kenyans should think of, what is the debate? Which debate do you see in parliament? You only see people to parliament when people are going maybe to vote on a serious issue. And unasikia they have been whipped, they have been mobilized. Where is that pride of people going to parliament and sitting in? How many of these legislators even bring bills in parliament? Today, the thing called CDF has really helped. When we were in primary with Akina Odoyowidi, the classrooms didn't even have windows. We were carrying cow dung to to smear the floors. Even our teachers were living in houses that are smeared with cow dung, the wall and the floor. It just took one man from Nyandarua here, I think Olkolao, he was a member of parliament, to bring a bill in parliament when Kibaki was president, to ensure that at least there is some money meant for every constituency. So the way your MP will use it is what is important. Because you see, when you leave all the money, and that is why devolution was very important, that we devolve money so that we have an economy of 4 trillion, but at least you can find 425 billion taken to counties. It's not much, but at least there's something in the counties. So you can choose to be an Oparanya and do 150 kilometers of tarmac to enable trade, to trade, or you can choose to be the people we knew who did nothing, and they are still poor today. They are looking for positions. You've been a governor for 10 years, you are 70 years old or 60-something years, and you still want to come back to vie for a member of parliament or something. So what I'm saying is
yes,
that it cost just one man to bring CDF, which has really helped many constituencies. Are you getting me?
I'm getting it.
These guys, even bringing a bill, even when Ruku is trying to bring a bill on Public Order Act, they don't want the bill. But I can tell you, I wish President Ruto could do his 5 years and say, I'll come back like Trump. I'll do it.
Come back.
And I wish that last year when he's leaving, arudishe Kenya where we were mid-2022. Hakikishe bei ya unga iko juu. Hakikishe kwamba dola iko juu the way it was, subsidized by. Ruto arudishe to Kenya 2027, where he found Kenya. Then these people making noise to be made president, we see if they'll be in that office for 1 week. They have already weaponized the Gen Zs. They'll be dealt with. I wish the president can make a decision, a conscious decision today and say, fine, you are making noise at me? Yes. You gave me 5 years mandate? Yes. He pushes the country up to 2027, then he says, I'm not running. I'll come to run because he's young, I'll come to run in 2032. But he makes also sure that bei ya unga imerudi where it was. Awache kila kitu where it was.
Including,
and let him take even more loans. You know, there are people in this country who joined cabinet driving Toyota Corollas and living in Buruburu and South B. 10 years down the line, they are multi-billionaires. Are you getting me? Somebody has 5 homes, not 5 serious homes, including his village.
yes.
And he came driving a Toyota Corolla the other day, and there's no business he has done. You know, people I should be given to investigate. And I take all the wealth and take that money back to the state. You know, there are people in this country. You saw what Magufuli did in Tanzania. Alijifanya tu mtu mzuri, mtu mjinga. Then he took over government. Tanzania has done SGR. I'm told without even a loan, I don't know. But I'm told something like that.
What stops Ruto from doing it?
Where is the money?
Arresting
He has inherited,
people who have looted.
excuse me, he has inherited loans. And you know, the people who have looted are not very many. And we can take money from them. But Ruto felt there's no need of harassing people. Let's take a new trajectory. Let's leave people to run the systems as they are. Because sometimes, the reason why we wanted to have the Truth and Reconciliation Commissions
Yes.
was so that we know the truth, but we forgive. If we continue the way we are continuing, some rich people will have to surrender their wealth to the state.
And that,
Especially if there is confirmation that you have so much wealth and there is no tax you have been paying. Because how would you have attained all that money and in record we cannot see the tax you have been paying? Then we should start doing what Magufuli did in Tanzania. So that the government can have, there is money. We are in a country where people are stashing money outside the country. So the issue is not about Ruto. The issue is about our morals, our systems, the way we want to work.
now that brings me to my last question. What is the way out of it? We are seeing young people coming on the street, whether it is politicized or not, it does not matter to ordinary Kenyan who has lost his young girl or boy. The government wants to move forward, running the country.
What happens to a person who has committed suicide?
He's buried.
So if you go attacking police station, have you not committed suicide? If you go breaking people's shops and hardwares and looting, are you not committing suicide?
You can be arrested and taken to court.
With what?
The law does not say
If you are 1,000 people, if you are 1,000 or 200 people, and we have just 2-3 policemen there, who will arrest you? How will they arrest you? You are mobilizing 1 million people to come to Nairobi. How do you arrest 1 million people? I've told you the population of police is 120,000 against a population of almost 60 million. How will you do it? That is why the gun is there, to stop rogue people. Let's face reality.
They're coming back on Sabasaba on Monday. Are you going to kill them?
Who?
Those who will be
Who will
coming
kill
back
them?
to demonstrate, the police.
No,
Like
why
the CS
should
said.
the police have a mandate to protect life and property? So why should police kill you if you are demonstrating peacefully? It is the role of the police to protect you, not to kill you. But when you go when you go burning people's vehicles on the road, what have those people done to you?
But
When you go breaking supermarkets and robbing them, what have they done to you? And you are not 5 people or 2 people. You are 300 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, 3,000 people. Go and read the rules of riot. Go and read the penal code. Go and read what provisions the law has given on justifiable use of firearms. Inchi haichungwi na maombi peke yake. Inchi inachungwa na bunduki. Ndio inachunga inchi.
Does that help a young man who has lost hope, who has even written his
Why
obituary?
is he losing
who has
hope?
written his obituary and saying that it might be my last day
Excuse me.
on the street. They are ready to die.
Excuse
Even
me.
if you kill them,
Excuse
you are
me.
not helping them.
Excuse me.
Yes.
So you let them burn the country and burn the economy. Where are they going to get jobs? If they burn the economy, you come and burn this building today. How many people are employed here? How much money has been put here? So we let you burn the country because you've lost hope? My brother, I want to take you back to where I believe you come from, Luo Nyanza. How many of us have left their farms? Or how many young men are selling 2 acres of land at a throwaway price to buy a motorbike, which kills him the following day? How many? Going for shortcuts, people don't want to work hard.
Thousands.
A person leaves home in Oyugis, which has tea, and goes to Kericho to pluck tea. True or not true?
That's true.
Do you know? Many a times the children of the richest men end up selling properties to the children of the watchmen who used to protect them. You have a watchman at home. He comes to you and gets little money from you, 10,000, 5,000, and takes his child to a city council school as your child goes to Breban. This boy in city council school passes his school certificate, goes to Alliance High School or Mango or even Jamhuri here. The father, the little money he gets from washing a car in your compound, goes and buys ile mguu ya kuku na the intestines ya kuku na kichwa ya kuku, and they prepare dinner and they eat and they are happy. The child scores an A plane and continues. Your boy from Breban comes back with bangi and homosexuality. Tomorrow, when you are buried, the same day you are buried, they are selling this building. Kwani, where did we come from? We didn't come from rich families. I didn't do a high-profile job. I've just been a policeman. When people see us with one or two things, they say to Meiba, to Liba, wapi. You cannot squander your opportunity and blame people. Just here in Central Province, the last few years, we have had people complain. You had the former deputy president putting serious campaigns on alcoholism. Is that the sitting president? People are leaving jobs at home where he can live in his grass-thatched house, walk to somebody's compound, do some work, earn the same 15,000, which is coming to earn in Kibera, and walking every day to work and not even having lunch. But he's happy he's in Nairobi. We must change our mentality.
I hear you. I hear you.
We must go back to church so that people can know God.
No, that is the message I wanted you to finish with. Speaking on this camera to that young person who is planning to come on the street on Monday, to that young person who feels that he has lost hope and that his world is coming to an end, as a father and also as a former police officer, I want you to speak to these young people.
Number one, I'm not a former police officer. I still have my certificate of appointment. I can arrest you.
So you can go with me? No, please.
Now, what I'm saying is that two mistakes don't make a right. All of us, we have been authorized by our beautiful Constitution 2010 to demonstrate, to assemble, to picket, but peaceably and unarmed. Don't be lied to by anybody that the police cannot use their firearm against you. Don't come to the street thinking that you can go and commit robbery. Those supermarkets you want to break are a source of employment for many of you. Those hardwares you want to break, those banks you want to break, those buildings, those roads that you want to ban have consequences when the next financial year we have to add taxes to repair those roads. We have a beautiful constitution. The problem of unemployment did not start with the sitting president. He's only 2.5 years in office. You have a right to point out where you think he's not doing the right thing, but in a civil manner. When you want to demonstrate, follow the regulations in the Public Order Act. That Order Act is there to ensure that there is order. And remember that the Constitution and the rights you are enjoying in the Constitution have limits. They come with morals, they come with responsibility, and they come with limits. That when you enjoy your rights and fundamental freedoms, you don't prejudice the rights and freedoms of others.
Thank you.
All the young men, notify the police if you are in Olkalau, if you are in Kisumu, if you are in Mombasa. If you think you want to agitate, notify the police, agree on the point of assembly, agree on the time and the routes you want to use so that you don't inconvenience others. Remember, my mother can be sick in Meru, coming for treatment in Nairobi. And if you block the road in Thika Road, I'll lose my mother before she reaches hospital or any other person. And therefore we say, let us not prejudice the rights of the others. You want to agitate, but do it civilly and in the right way. But
Thank you.
remember, if you go beyond, if you attack a police station which has armory, the chances that you may be shot are very high.
Thank you.
If you are many and you are breaking and looting a shop, the chances that a person will be shot, you may not all be shot, but the leader of that team may be shot to deter people. We don't want to put blood in the hands of the police. Help the police to help you. Help the police not to use live bullets. The police are our brothers. We need police for our day-to-day security. We will never get any other police apart from what we have. You demonize the police, you do it at your own peril because you demonize and compromise your own security.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. It has been the People's Bench coming to you from Game Suits here in Riverside. It was a privilege and an honor to sit down and have a one-on-one and head-to-head with the former police spokesperson, Mr. Charles Owino himself. And you have heard the way he has said that virtue is a mean between two extremes. In whatever you do, please do it with the limit. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, sir, for finding time to come to the People's Bench and to speak to Kenyans in such a candid, exclusive, and a very honest manner. Thank you so much. We appreciate and look forward to having you next time on the bench.